Check, 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 check. We are live. Let's get started. Find my timer. All right, let's get started. Make sure we're good to go. We got that up. Okay. Oh, that's too light. Blocking the figure. Okay, little bus. All right, you guys know the drill. Starting with blocking in the figure. Just getting the general shape going. So, building in which I live, every year around this time, the heater starts like acting crazy, and it was fine all year. And so now it will just start to really make these loud banging noises. So if you guys hear that in the background, don't be alarmed. I'm okay. Nobody's being hurt. It just gets really, really loud. So if it gets too crazy or too unbearable and it just sounds bad on the recording, I'll just put myself on mute until the banging stops. So that's the game plan. But it's really loud. Really crazy. But it's part of living in an old building. It's how it is sometimes. It's how it goes. Oh no, I didn't set my timer. I'm sitting here looking at it and I didn't set it. I just turned it on. The day before yesterday, I had a fail with my oil painting, and I swore to never paint again. But I'm going to try again. I just had an off day. Just off. Who is calling me? Nobody hit me up all day. Alright, let me put this on mute. Okay, let's see. Alright, we got some people in the house. Let's keep going. Working on the shadow shapes on her face. big idea in colors down. That's good. The big colors, big blocks of color onto the canvas. Do this as quickly as possible. Cover up the canvas with color so you're not starting from a blank slate. It's a lot easier to see what you're doing if you have something to compare it to. So, that's my process, trying to get down color as fast as possible, without focusing or worrying too much about the details, because you might have to go in and change them later. So it's good to just knock it out when you can. So that's what we're doing. Alright, let's work our way around the figure. This is not green, this is more of a blue color up here. Make sure that I am drawing properly and correctly, making things go where they're supposed to go. I'm doing that more or less to an extent. It's a little too dark, so it was too light, so we made it darker. And the hair, her hair, Regan. Just refining as we go along. Fixing as we go along. Noticing, what's making sense and what's working and what's not working. Can you guys hear the banging? Banging is here. Save this. Alright, as you can see, you're already getting the general shape and the form going. So it's just a matter of continuing and getting things where they're supposed to be. Generally, it doesn't have to be perfect just yet, but try to focus and putting things where they go, whatever that may mean. Yeah, so we already have a general template of what's going on, and we're just going to keep progressing this as far as we can for the next 20 minutes. And I will stay zoomed out for the next 20 minutes until my timer goes off, and then I'll come in closer and really start working on the features. But it should be working from this distance. Like, it should look halfway. It should look like something from this distance. Just really placing the features, which is easier to do when you're standing further away, in my opinion. You may want to get into it. Average. You guys can't see me, but like I'm squinting. I'm squinting while I'm painting. It's really giving it a good squint so I can see the light in the dark. You can separate the tones better when you squint your eyes just a little bit. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to work on the tones a little bit more. Something that I have noticed is that it's a little bit too orange. There's a little bit too much orange happening in her face. It's a little bit more, it's like warm, but it's like cool as well. So I'm gonna try to get out of this and like really find there we go. That's more accurate. Just add some color to her, right color. I can go back in and fix it later. Alright, let's look at her hair and just make sure everything is lining up the way that it should with the rest of the image. I think the hair is good so far, because that will tell us like what the rest of her face shape should be like. Sometimes you have to make it a little. Okay, let's get her shoulder. Shoulder is correct. She has a turtleneck. Her hair comes down like this, giving it more shape. Neck. Okay. Turtleneck like this. And this comes over more like that. Let's work on the shadow area, which there is it's definitely in shadow, but also what's happening is there's some like a green highlight happening where, I don't know what the technical term is for that space on her face, but there's some interesting things happening. If you look by her lips on the left side, it's a shadow shape, but it's also there's like a faint green highlight, so it's not completely in shadow, it's a little bit in the light. It's kind of cool, so we're gonna try to get that, replicate that correctly. Just keep working with it. So now's the time where I might have to lighten up my pen pressure, because it's starting to get into like these more subtle changes that are harder to capture with such a heavy brush. I try to take it as far as I can with the heavy brush, but eventually you have to kind of switch it up. Let's see how far I can get with this. Shadow shape under here. too into the details just yet, but we're working our way. We'll get there eventually. Just gotta get the shape right. So we'll get there. Really, there's gonna be a lot of really subtle tones in her face, especially like the highlights. Highlights will be really subtle. It's gonna be some brightness happening. Just gotta get right. And it's gonna help once I bring my pressure sensitivity, my pen pressure down, so I can really get those nuances in the face. Right now it's too dark. Let's bring it up just a little bit. Yeah. Really focus on it. Okay, right to the right place. Okay. Big brushes. Big brushes help, just not getting too much into the detail too early on. Because then you start to get distracted and you start to focus on the details, and it just turns into a mess. So just really trying to get the big picture, and then we go in later and do all the refinements and get all the small details. But not yet. Not yet. Make sure we're getting. Okay. Alright, bring this down a little bit. This more gray. Getting her hair shape. It's like a shadow shape happening on her hair. So we want to make sure that we get that in this dark area. And then the sun is like hitting one of her braids, one of her locks, one of her tresses. So we want to make sure we get that as well. And then when we get in a little bit closer, we'll be able to deal with her eye. She's looking a little off right now on the left side. We'll deal with all of that, get all that situated as we move on to that side. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but we want to get it as close as we can since we're here. Why not? Shadow. Turtleneck is in the shadow. So we have about 6 minutes left, and then we'll go in. You know what? I might just go in right now and start working on the details of her face. I'm patient this far. I think I could start going in a little closer and get her nose and other parts of the face. Just want to make sure that I got the overall structure correct, so I don't have to repeat myself later. Just get that right, and then I can go in and work on the other parts of the face with some confidence. Just put this whole thing in shadow and we'll deal with that. Let's get this right. Shadow shape correct. Once I get that shadow shape correct, then the rest will be easy. It's like this highlight area. Easy when I come in. Okay. I think it is time. Let's start to zoom in and work on these facial features a little bit closer. I believe I have the general shape pretty good. Her chin is a little wide. It's bothering me a little bit because it's not that wide. I don't know how to figure out how to thin it out. Maybe I just gotta bring up some of this black so I can make it look a little thinner. Maybe because I don't know. That's good enough. Let's go in a little closer. So now you can see, you got a better idea of like what's going on. Let's zoom out. Let's flip it. Let's see what it looks like when we flip it. It's passing the flip test more or less. I can see I can see where some things are wrong just from my initial flip test, which is a really good way to see what you're doing, see where things are not making sense. Really, really useful. Okay. Think what's happening is that this is a little bit higher. Our face is a little bit wider. bring my opacity down to like 30 and really try to chisel out these features. So that's what I'm going to be working on now. Try to use a big brush. Try to use the biggest brush possible while I do this. And this is going to be, the left side of the face might be challenging because it's in shadow and it's really hard to distinguish the edge, from the edge of her face to where the hair starts. So this might take me a few attempts to get it for it to look decent. So I'll work on that. Cool parts. Right here. That's my timer. That part, check the part right here. A little more pink. It's like more pink in her face than I have so far, than I have already. Carving out the nose, shaping out the nose. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I know that there's a nose here, but it gets lost. It's a lost edge. So I'm gonna try to maintain that lostedness. I don't know if that's a word. I'm gonna try to maintain that it is a lost edge. Um, and I know it's a nose because I'm looking at a person, and that's usually where a nose on a person goes. But it's not necessarily really there in the visual, in the painting, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be there. It could all be implied. All implied. Yeah. We are coming to a close. Alright, let's get the shadow shape, shadow side of our face going. It's not bad at all. Hmm. It's too light. It's too light. Kind of implied here. It's the highlight I was telling you guys about. We gotta get this the right tone. Which we do not have right now. Too dark. It's like I have to decide whether I want it to be the exact color that it is, or just be a little bit lighter and take some creative liberty. I don't know. I have to make a decision. I have not made yet. Use these big brushes. These transitions. Do the flip test. Flip. it. Okay, so I'm pretty good. This side. Some color. Back. This is much what that will do with her turtleneck. Alright, let's keep going. Her mouth is actually back here a little bit more. Color down a little bit. It must be black, but it has to be that dark. Signify those shadow shapes. Pretty dark under here. Her nose area. Pretty dark right here. And right here. So those dark areas situated. I don't want to be too dark because then you lose illusion. Okay. Good enough. Face comes out. It's not working. Let's turn my opacity up and really try to assess what's working and what's not working here. That's supposed to go where they need to be, where they're supposed to go. Too dark. she's looking for. Um, okay, I think I'm done with this. I think this is the first I'm gonna give it a kids. Something seems a little off with the drawing, but I've done my time for today already. I've done my time. It's not gonna get much better than this without a lot more effort. So I will end it here. It's not terrible. It's not the worst. Definitely could be better. But I'm not gonna put in more time because I'm tired. Put in a lot of time. I mean, at least 50 minutes. That's fine. It kind of looks like her, but it's not exactly like her, which is okay. She's just doing it for the color. It's a color study. Yeah, it's a color study. That's what it was. And her features, her proportions are slightly off, but I think I got the gist of what's going on in the image. I think I'll have this for, my visual library later on in life if I ever need to draw a figure that looks like this with these kind of highlights, or I think I have it in my memory, ingrained in my memory, which is dope, while you practice, so you can come back to this later when you need to in your mind. Just keep eyelashes. Okay. See how much time I have left. Got 5 minutes, so let me keep pushing this until I really no longer can do it anymore. Maybe exaggerate some of these highlights just so it looks good. It looks cool. Really push some of these highlights because we can. Because that's what my heart feels. My heart. Yeah, it's get a little funky. Have to be perfect. Now we can take some creative liberty. Okay, I think I'm done. No, I said that already, but whatevs. Um, it's still off. The drawing is still off itself, but you know, it's fine. I got the gist, the overall feel. Maybe that's enough. Maybe, I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, her chin is too far down. Her lips are a little bit wider than what they are. I think her jawline is slightly off from what I have, and it makes her look a lot older than she really is. I just think that her this area down here is a lot closer than what I have. So it's more like this. But I made her jaw a little bit too big. It's more like this, and then her lips are probably. I got 22 seconds before I gotta wrap it up. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit better. Not really. Yeah, yeah. I think that's good enough. I had more time. That's my bell saying that it's time to hang it up. Yeah, it needs some work. It needs some work to get it just right, but this is good. Um, I guess I should just add a little bit of pupillage. Too crazy, just so it's not like this mystery person. Not completely mysteriosa. Misteriosa. Now yeah. Okay. Now she has eyes. Okay, y'all. This was fun. I'm out. I am outie. I did my time, and had I had more time, I think I could go in and really refine this and get it to where I'm super happy with it. But I got stuff to do, and I think this is good. I think this is a good level of work that I put in. I got it to a good place, and that's it. All right, let me log off. How do I log off? All right, see you, people.